Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel if you are a returning subscriber, and if you are new, welcome. Join the crew if you enjoy this content. In this video I really wanted to have a conversation really about my experiences as someone with gap teeth. Like, I think that I've always struggled with beauty standards. I had to deal with both the negative experiences of like being dark skinned, having short hair, or like having gap teeth, right? And being dark skinned and having short hair were things that I can change. I mean, I couldn't change, right? Like, I can't do anything about my skin, so that's gonna be there. And I can do something about my hair, right? I can wear extensions, which I did, right? And so the gap teeth was always something that was just like, how am I going to address this? And I feel like all of this really just is speaking specifically to the messaging of society, right? It really just speaks to the messaging of our society, and that, you know, if it isn't her teeth, then it's her forehead. If it's not her forehead, then it's her toes. If it's not her toes, then it's her something. There's so many different ways for people to just like find fault with you, find fault in themselves. And I just feel like it's toxic. It's toxic, especially because like I come from a background, I'm Nigerian.
Welcome to Nigeria.
Culturally, having a gap is beautiful. It means that, you know, once you're born with a gap, it's like you're her. And it's just the opposite experience that I've had here. What's crazy to me is like, it could be the most beautiful woman on the internet, right? Like, I've seen this myself. Like, I see a beautiful woman representing who she truly is, her essence, and she won't have straight teeth. She'll have a gap like me. And the comments will be like, oh, and it's just like, why are we, what is this? So I had an experience. Really? I was picking my nephew up. I was picking him up, and one of his classmates was like,
are you missing the teeth? Oh.
There's the authentic, genuine part of it where like most people don't have gaps, so it's natural to feel like this thing is just odd. But then there's the other side of it where it's like, oh, well, this person is not beautiful because they have a gap. And that's the part that I take issue with, because it has really affected me growing up, more specifically. Not now, because I think now in this age, like, for me to get to the places I want to go, be around the people that I know value and care about me, having a gap does not, it does nothing. Like, it doesn't hinder me, it doesn't open doors either. It's just my teeth, right? But I think growing up, like, it had a lot of weight, and it controlled my emotions a lot. It controlled how I saw myself, the kind of value I thought I had, my worthiness, because there were these standards. And I just feel like there's so many things that we have to worry about, like so many other things in this life that are like really problematic and troublesome. But yet we tend to make it not only 10 times harder for other people, but harder for ourselves to just navigate this crazy society with all its rules and all its standards and all its stuff. When we grow up, like, the way that we see ourselves is really important, because we feel like it is what helps us be accepted. It helps us find our sense of belonging, of where we fit in. But it's not. The older you get, the more you realize how insignificant it is. I mean, people still to this day, right, they get older and they want to close their gap, and I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't think about it from time to time, just getting some Invisalign and getting rid of the gap, or like working to get rid of the gap, and it is something I still think about, but it doesn't hold as much weight in my life, right? And I think I'm trying to get to a place where, like, if I do get Invisalign, it's because I genuinely wanted it. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for who I am and how I show up in the world. But it does matter when we think about it relationally. We think about how others will perceive us differently because our teeth, you know. So, like, my particular story is that I've always felt like in order for me to be valued and be worthy, my gap needed to be closed and needed to be removed. I think the gap I became really fixated on when I was younger, and I immediately told my mom that I needed to get braces. She was against it, She was obviously against it because culturally it's a sign of beauty, and it makes me. Like, my family to this day will be like, you can't get rid of your gap because it's you. But I went to see a dentist when I was younger who, at the time, I think they were doing, like, you know how they fill in a cavity? He was able to use that same material to close my gap. And I felt like everything. I felt like her, okay? And I don't know why. I feel like most people didn't even recognize that I had closed it, which is the crazy part. And I mean, if your teeth are significantly different, then maybe people will notice if it just transforms. But even then, it's like, it does nothing outside of just like looks. You get what I'm saying? Like you closing your gap and your teeth suddenly changing does nothing to change how people treat you and see you. And that's what I realized, like, getting the filler. But at the time, I'm looking back now, right? This is in hindsight. But at the time, I felt like everything. And, you know, I think it lasted about like 2 days. And there was one day when I had a lollipop and I was just like over there, like, you know, showing my teeth off and everything. And I bit into the lollipop and the filler just fell out of my mouth. And I was devastated. And I guess the point of the story is to show that people only use your flaws when it benefits them. They only point to it when it matters. Like, if it's not there, they're not pointing to it. If it's there and they want to hurt you, and they, you know, when they want to project their own insecurities, that is what they will target. But if it's not there, it's like they'll find something new. And that's the point, right? Like, we can always change this, and that about ourselves, but like, in this kind of world that we live in, there's always going to be something new that someone is going to try and poke at and try to like magnify as your flaw and as something that is worth devaluing you for. I realized that it doesn't matter, because as long as I'm okay up here and my mind is intact, my mental health is intact, no one should be able to poke at my physical, like my external. And they will, right? But they shouldn't be able to poke at it so much so that it forces me to want to change who I am. And I feel like there's a lot of young girls who don't feel beautiful because of their teeth. There's a lot of young girls who don't feel beautiful for many reasons, because they don't have long hair, because their skin is dark, because their skin is pale, because they're short, they're fat, they're skinny.
See myself being a 12-year-old girl standing in the front of mirror saying shittiest words I could even imagine. Like, dude, you are not beautiful. Like, look at you. You are a piece of shit. Like, those words hurt.
When you think about the kind of spaces you want to be accepted, like the spaces where you want to feel loved in, right? Like, you will be loved in a space no matter how big, small, dark, light, all of these things, no matter how, you will feel love in a space that is loving for you, that holds space for you to be there, because that space is not bound to all of these words that are just misrepresentations of who you are. Like, you are your essence at your core. Who you are is based really on how you show up for others, how you show up for yourself. So my camera died and I swore that I turned it back on and started filming again, but I guess not. Ultimately, I really hope that you all were able to take something away from this video. I just wanted to really spread love and spread light to anyone out there who's feeling pretty insecure about themselves as a result of just beauty standards that are just almost unrealistic at this point, right? So I just want you all to know that who you are right now is important, is worthy, is beautiful, is love, is capable, and I want you to just show yourself that love, show yourself that care, and everything else will fall in place. I promise. Please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment if you have anything to comment, and share with anyone you think might enjoy this video. Bye.